Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Okay, I just got back from a trip down in the deep, dark, swampy, Jack Benny-esque vaults of Record-ology, and I found this thing. This is the Luger Lake modern yet retro-looking, full-size gramophone-y, turntable-y, Bluetooth-enabled thingy that we reviewed a few months ago. But if you remember, we had an issue where one of the speakers didn't work, specifically when you had it in phonograph mode. When you had Bluetooth mode enabled to the radio, I think it's got a radio, everything worked fine. In fact, it sounded fantastic. So I'm going to open it up, see if we can figure out. I have a feeling that maybe one of the two wires going down the tone arm might have been disconnected. So anyway, we're going to inspect it and see if it's something we can fix. You're not going to want to miss this.
This is Record-ology.
While unboxing the behemoth, I found this little ball bearing. Kind of interesting. I hope it didn't come from that unit. For now, I'm throwing it back in the box. Again, if you want to see the full review of this, check out the original review video. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below for that. Today, we're specifically trying to fix it. As good as new. Everything is wrapped. Nothing but the finest asset protection here at Record-ology. So let me go ahead and put it back together and let's verify it's still not working and we'll go from there. I still think it's awesome how there's this little contact point here for the horn to attach to, because there is a tweeter in that horn and it needs to make contact so that it can get signal. And the reason why it's round contact is so that it can swivel in any direction. And my favorite piece of industrial design oversight has to be this compact disc logo on this device, which definitely does not have a compact disc player. It does, however, have a remote control, which not a lot of gramophones can say, as well as an aux cable, an as yet unused cloth. Although, you know, these types of cloths, these like microfiber cloths, I don't really find them particularly useful for cleaning records because they don't get down in the groove at all. So I end up having a lot of cleaners or cloths for my glasses. And everybody that I know that's vision impaired, they as well have plenty of cloths for their glasses. Yes, indeed, there is a tweeter in there, which actually helps to create directional sound. There's a subwoofer underneath the unit, as well as two stereo speakers on the sides. Let's go ahead and place a record on here. We're going to place the stylus at the, you can place it anywhere. Turning the unit on. I want to make sure that this thing is still having an issue. I do have it plugged in. Okay, switching to LP mode. Whoa, it goes fast. Okay, LP mode. And select the speed. There we go. Definitely only getting sound out of the right side. Right side and the tweeter. Okay, that's all I need to know. We're going to go ahead and take it apart and look inside. Underneath the antique-ish platter mat, which is sort of a felt rubberized deal. Foam rubber, I should say. Got some instructions, pretty interesting. Now, unlike a lot of turntables, it looks like it may be more difficult to go in through the top. So let's see if the bottom looks any easier. You can see the subwoofer there. I might have more luck that way. I think I'm going to try the bottom first. I literally have no idea how this video is going to turn out, because my skills in terms of fixing things, let's just say they're not 100% reliable. So, okay, all the screws are off. Panel didn't just fall out, so I'm going to have to pull it out. Okay. What? Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. This subwoofer isn't really a subwoofer, it's just a fake. It's weird though, it's like, it does have like this piece and the rubber grommet there, it's just like an ambient deal. There's a kind of a gasket. So basically the ambient sounds, instead of it just being a hole, it presumably vibrates that. Oh, that's so funny. I had no idea, you guys. Sound dampening material. Looking in here. We have wiring. What is this? What on earth? Okay, there's speakers in the side. both sides. And the wiring. Now you see it's in a box though, so we're gonna have to go on the other side. As you can see there, this enclosure here, this speaker enclosure, is sealed off. So we have no access to the turntable mechanism whatsoever. Just these wires in here. This is so weird. Interesting. I mean, I assume there's some acoustic goodness happening that would render something on this phony subwoofer passive vibration thingy, but I don't know. All right, I'm gonna screw this back together and we'll take a look in the top. You know, when those 4 ohm 10 watt speakers get bumping, maybe it really does resonate this thing. I've never seen such a thing. I do notice that there is a gasket, so maybe they're trying to keep it as a sealed enclosure, and they have this stuff in there, so maybe it does do something. I don't know. I just thought that was going to be a real active speaker that was wired. I have to say I'm a little surprised I didn't see more under the hood than I did, although it is an exposed belt system, but I thought I would at least see the motor, which by the looks of these mounting screws, I think is going to be mounted to this plate. I'm sure we're going to pull it off and everything's just going to be attached. So, but this is the only other compartment that I can see. I didn't even see the front panel stuff. So see what's inside. I'm not a huge fan of taking stuff apart where you've got screws that go directly into particle board, because it's kind of a one-time only deal. Once you use that piece of particle board, when the screw goes back in, there's not much to hold it. So sometimes the screws just spin there. You kind of strip the hole when you do that. And it looks like by the wood particles coming off, this is probably drilled right into that. So we shall see. So far I haven't come across anything on this that's not either wood or metal. I mean, even the tone arm, surprisingly, is metal. I mean, this head shell is plastic. The front panel assembly is plastic. But in terms of the construction, there's no plastic. Everything is, you know, either wood, albeit particle board. Although these trim pieces are really heavy duty. I don't know. I think this might be real wood. I'm not sure if this is a really well done veneer or if this is wood. But anyway, I've got these screws out. Let's see. Maybe. Let's see if we can pop her open. I might need a little razor blade. My trusty pocket knife might help us out. I'm going to try and do this in a way that I don't damage anything. I hope. Wait, I'm starting to make some headway here. I might have made some progress. Let's see. Oh, I think we're making progress. Holy cow. There is just nothing to this. So as you can see, there's just nothing here. I mean, it's a plate, and this is completely passive here. It's not even really a bearing. It's just a brass ring that it sits in. The motor pulley is attached directly to the motor, obviously, which is, you know, goes in this little hole, and that's all there is to it. So where are we going to find any wiring to the tone arm? I'm thinking we're going to have to go in here. So third time's a charm. Okay, guys, the folks at Lugu Lake must have wanted to keep us out of here because they put these evil and insurmountable Allen screws. However, I have a tool just for this moment. By the way, while we're down here, check out the lift, the tone arm lift. It's actually pretty common, just like a little bent piece of metal that lifts up the bottom of the tone arm, or something connected to the bottom of the tone arm. Oops. It does not have a lock, though. I think it needs a lock. Okay, so let's go ahead. Oops. And see what's in here. Okay, these are coming out pretty easy. So let's see what we got in here. Moment of truth. Big reveal. It's just like everything else. There's nothing to reveal. It's literally just a wire braid coming out of there, going into the box. And this is just like sponge rubber here. Man, where do you think the disconnect is? Literally. I'm starting to think maybe I should have paid more attention when we were in the speaker enclosure to those wires. But I figured might as well look under here. It's the only place we haven't looked yet. So this is the only plastic thing we've come across yet. Come on. Why is it hanging up on that part right there? What am I missing? It's hanging up on the input jack. What the heck? Okay, I just had to pull it a little bit more. That's going to be everything right there. There's the other wall of that enclosure. Got some ground wires. Everything is coming through. Look, this is like a maze of horrors in this thing. Really bizarre. But the good news is we should be able to check for connections right here. Now let me just see if I can identify what's what, and we'll go from there. Weird, look at this. There's this little black wire that's just soldered onto this 3M backed adhesive tape. I wonder if that's an antenna. Very bizarre. But obviously this is going to be everything. This is going to be the amplifier, the receivers, everything all in one. So let's see if we can find a loose wire. May have hit a dead end, folks. I mean, I don't see anything obvious, and my knowledge is sketchy. I know the basics of electronic components, and I can connect things and take things apart and reconnect things, but these clips here are glued in. These red and black ones are going to be the speakers. Flipping it around. Every one of these bundles goes to a well-connected solder. There's nothing obvious. There's the other speaker connection. I've never seen these kind of capacitors before, that brand. I didn't see any, I always love it when you get something generic or off-brand. And then it turns out there's like Sony or Toshiba chips in there. I think that's cool. I didn't see anything I recognized on the other side. And then these two wires here seem to be well connected. It does look like there's... No, those weren't used. I was going to say those looked like they should have had something connected, but see other ones over here. But that's about it, folks. I mean, I think this... It could be a fault, with something as small as a resistor. Or a transistor. It's hard to say. JL branded ICs, interesting. But I don't see anything that's at my pay grade to fix. Which I apologize that we don't have a sort of anticlimactic here. I apologize we don't have like a big, I fixed it. Sometimes we don't. I just thought of one more thing that I can do. I took the cartridge off. No obvious issues with the wiring, but I'm going to take my multimeter and do a continuity test between there and where I think it's connected down here, and that should verify that the wiring is solid from the circuit board up to the cartridge. Okay, so using a simple continuity test from the multimeter here, back up to both terminals on the cartridge. By the way, I traced it to this bundle here. Got continuity on both of them with the ground wire in the middle. So the wiring from this point all the way back to the stylus is accurate. And if you remember the first video, we actually replaced the cartridge. Stylus didn't seem to make a difference. So it's somewhere between the PCB and the speakers. And I'm guessing that there's a fault. Probably could be an IC fault, could be a resistor fault, but it's definitely beyond my pay grade. And that's as far as I can take it, unfortunately. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. If you enjoyed this show, give me a thumbs up, share it out, tell your friends. Make sure you subscribe, select all, so you don't miss those live shows where we give stuff away, including record players. You never know, we might give this one away. Although the shipping, can you imagine what the shipping would be on this? Probably won't give this one away. Anyway, we do give away turntables, new and used, and we just have a lot of fun. So thank you so much for being here. I hoped it was enjoyable. That's going to do it for today. Happy record hunting. We will see you tomorrow.